Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith and this is your JIS News for Friday, April 17. The academic term is to be extended for those schools that were affected by the Riverton fire in March. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites announced that directive at a post-sectoral press briefing on Thursday.
When days are lost because of public health reasons, because of national emergencies, as in the case of the Riverton dump, it is the obligation of the school to make up those days. Yes, and I am convinced that this is an obligation understood by the schools and carried out by them in large part.
All schools are generally expected to have 190 instructional days. 8 new technical subjects are to be introduced for the 2015-2016 academic year. The subjects will be added to the traditional TVET offerings and will be introduced to 110 targeted high schools. The Education Minister says it's a move to make more students marketable.
The whole philosophy is to popularize TVET subjects in the high schools to make graduates more marketable for employment when they leave school or when they can go on to higher education. We have to play to the aptitudes of our young people and to the needs of the economy, both local and overseas.
The 8 new subjects are small ruminants, apiculture, renewable energy, meat and seafood handling, floral arrangement, computer graphics, visual merchandising, and logistics operations. And Jamaicans at home and within the diaspora are being encouraged once again to partner with the government to develop the nation's education system. The latest appeal came from Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites while speaking at a recent breakfast meeting with diplomats and business leaders hosted by the National Education Trust, NET.
We wish to posit education as being a worthy recipient of investment in Jamaica.
He urged people wishing to contribute to the sector to channel those resources through NET, which is tasked with enabling and maintaining investments in education. In other news, Minister of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining Philip Paulwell is assuring that number portability will be available to Jamaicans by May 31 this year.
The rules are now gazetted since September last year. And very importantly, I have issued a license to a porting administrator, a company called Porting Access BV from the Netherlands. And they are now working to ensure that we meet the timeline.
That license took effect on March 16 and will last for 10 years. Number portability will allow Jamaicans to move from one service provider to another while retaining their mobile and fixed telephone numbers. Minister Powell says it will also facilitate greater competition among players within the telecoms industry. Minister with responsibility for information, Senator Sandra Faulkner, is calling on all ministries, departments and agencies of government to implement sexual harassment and disability policies. Minister Faulkner says this will foster a work environment that is free from unwelcome sexual advances. She says the government is putting the necessary programs and policies in place to eliminate such abuses. These include drafting instructions given to the Chief Parliamentary Council last year for sexual harassment legislation.
The sexual harassment policy will facilitate transparency in the handling of all procedures relating to sexual harassment on the job.
Minister Faulkner was addressing the official launch of the Urban Development Corporation's sexual harassment and disability policies. And finally, Jamaica will host the closing ceremony of the Caribbean-Canada Emerging Leaders Dialogue, which will be held between September 30 and October 4 this year. The dialogue will see some 60 participants from Canada and various Caribbean territories undertaking study tours of 6 cities in Canada and the region. They will also meet with the leaders in private, public and civil society.
The Caribbean-Canada Emerging Leaders Dialogue is another initiative which promotes the benefits of networking and exchange programs for future business and policy leaders in our country.
Participants are now being accepted to the program, and interested persons can get more information online. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.